Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
This is the closing bell on the Stock Movers Report. The companies making moves at the close of U.S. trading with Carol Massar, Tim Stenovec, Romaine Bostick, and Scarlet Fu.
Let's get to some individual gainers. Ulta on that list, up more than 16% at its highs today, finishing the day with about a 12% gain. Intraday it was up, I think, the most since 2020. Number one gainer in the S&P 500. The company coming out, boosting its full-year profit outlook. And it also talked about comp sales were also higher than expected, and talking about the last quarter. And analysts kind of flagging some of the strong execution at the company.
I'm absolutely fascinated by this. I mean, because remember yesterday you had e.l.f. rally like 20-something%, also in the beauty space here.
Yes.
Is this the play?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think when people are feeling a little crunched, they call this kind of a small little spending you can do to kind of get some pleasure. So
something to make you feel good.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily cost a whole lot to do here.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. But some of this stuff's expensive, so I don't know what a little luxury it is. Costco. Let's also stay in the retail space. This is the number 4 gainer in the NASDAQ 100, folks, up about 3%. Company posted third quarter earnings per share that beat the average analyst estimate. Company talking about navigating some of the tariffs out there and the economic turbulence by flexing its scale and devoted. Following it is looking at some potential price changes on its item-by-item basis. So,
Scarlet. Yeah. It was so funny. I was looking at their earnings report, and you look at the growth rate. Did you know that like 6 percentage points of that growth rate was from the Scarlet Fu household?
I believe it.
I buy in bulk for everything.
She does.
Also, Lisa Mateo on the surveillance. She's there, I think, regularly. E-commerce sales were growing about 16%. Hey, one more, Palantir Technologies. This is the number 2 gainer in both the S&P and the NASDAQ 100, guys. It's up almost 8% in today's session. This after the New York Times reported that the Trump administration has expanded the data analysis software companies' work across the federal government in recent months. By the way, Palantir has received more than $113 million in federal government spending since the president took office. This again, the New York Times reporting, citing some public records. All right, Jess, over to you.
Moving over and looking at those decliners, as Carol is talking about too. So I'm going to start off with Gap, ticker symbol GAP, because it dropped actually 20%.
Aren't you glad they finally changed their ticker, Jess?
It's actually much easier now, so I appreciate that. And also down, so 20% loss. I mean, this has erased its gains for the year, and also its worst day actually since early April. So that, maybe not surprisingly, unfortunately came as that tariff hit warning that it gave it weakness at its smaller brands, when it's talking about some of those other ones too. Banana Republic is one of them too, but they talked about how it could have an impact as much as $300 million from that tariff impact, and revealed some of that stubborn weakness there. Moving over and looking also at the biggest decliner, though, in the S&P 500, Regeneron, REGN is the ticker symbol, down 19%, its worst day since April 2011 there. So this actually came after a drug trial missed the mark here, and 2 late trial drugs here, experimental, so specifically when it's going on and not meeting those goals as far as what's happening there. And Sanofi also had as far as when it's looking at its smoker's lung drug trial data, unfortunately coming in not as good as expected. And then wanted to end on contact lens maker Cooper Companies, ticker symbol COO. That actually was the second worst performer in the S&P 500, down almost 15%, worst day since November 2008. That actually came after it cut its outlook for organic growth for the year. And the company, even though it reported better than expected earnings results for the second quarter, but did see a guidance downgrade, and also specifically by JP Morgan, guys. So that's pressuring the shares.
Hey, pop quiz for you, Jess. So Regeneron, second biggest decliner in the S&P 500 in the month of May. What was the number 1 decliner
in the S&P 500 for this month? Let's see. I don't know. It surprised me.
United Health.
United Health, of course.
Yeah, of course.
You can use the MOV function and look at it on a monthly basis.
I'll always be selling, Jess. Yields. No, that's me. Sorry. I'm always looking for Alex Steele, who's, of course, has a well-deserved day off here. You take a look at the yield picture here. Slight moves lower here on the day, but we talk a lot here about the first big decline that we've seen on a price basis, on a monthly basis, I should say, for the U.S. Treasury market. Of course, we had 3 straight months where we did see a rally, and, of course, that being pushed back a little bit. And, of course, we talk about that inverse correlation. Gene Tenuzo, our guest on TV just a little while, that inverse correlation returning between stocks and bonds, a healthy sign, according to him.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.